The last one was managed to join Thailand. The current kingdom here used to be a bridge between Burma on one side and Thailand on the other side. They seem to favor more Thailand than Burma. But anyhow, Burma invaded Thailand at least twice, burned the capital of Ayutthaya. Probably you have heard about history, no? For the Thai people, you study history. Oh, that's the main point of history, that the Burmese invaded Thailand twice. And they came to here. That we call Three Pagodas Pass. It's a village. Pass because it was the pass, and it is the pass between different mountains over there and then mountains on the south. So the Burmese army used to came through here. Then when the Thais chased the Burmese, they followed them through here. Until they reached a point where they thought they were in Burma, so they prayed to heavenly things to get protection when getting into Burma. And the place where they prayed, they made a pile, 3 piles of stones. So eventually you will go and see the 3 pagodas. 3 pagodas, for a long time there were 3 piles of stones, just like in the Old Testament. You can remember Abraham and then Jacob, half experience goes, so they built an altar with a pile of stones. Until finally one of the kings decided to turn the pile of stones into someday a pagoda. Really the technical word is a stupa. Anyhow, you will go either today or tomorrow, you will see the 3 pagodas. Now another interesting part of the history here is that during the Second World War, after Singapore was defeated, they took a lot of iron and the railway from Singapore to make the Death Railway, and it passed through here, here. It's just the 3 important points of this. We used to be current. So the people, the local people are the current. The Thais came after. But now all the land is owned by the Thais. The currents have no right to own land. Now in this area there are a lot of rubber plantations. The rubber plantations belong to the Thai people. But the Thai people don't do the work. So they bring workers from Myanmar or from Burma. Now when we speak of Burma, the currents, they are most of them in Thailand, a good number most of them in Myanmar, a certain number in Thailand. They don't want to be called Burmese. Just what nationality, they don't say Burmese. They say nationality Karen. And there is another ethnic group very important, we call it the Mon, M-O-N. The Mon originally came to Myanmar before the Burmese. And probably you read history around the year 1100, it used to be a big kingdom covered part of Thailand. Eventually, and they had their own writing. So the Burmese came and they took the writing of the Mon to use in the Burmese language. But now the Mon, the influence has decreased a lot. So there's another group, another ethnic group. If you find a Mon and you ask him, where are you from? They will not say from Burma. Well, actually, they say, what nationality are you? And they say, Mon. So here the Karen and the Mon will not be identified as such. They don't want to be identified as Burmese. Okay? Now, in this area, 75% of the people who live here are foreigners, not born in Thailand. that the owners of the land are nice. So they bring people, they have been bringing people for a long time to look after rubber plantations and to plant cassava, tapioca, for a while, for a few months, and after they had either to go back or they find work. Now these families stay for 1 year, 10 years, 15 years, depends on the luck. Those who manage to stay for a certain number of years, where they have a family, they have children. The children are stateless. They are not recognized by the Thai government. They are not recognized by the Burmese government. And the current government has no government, no means of giving papers. So the children are about, I think there are about 16,000 children in the district of Sangkhlaburi with no papers. Now these children, up to about 2 years ago, they couldn't go to the government school. First of all, there are not enough places in the government school. And second, to go to the government school, they require documentation. You have no documentation like a birth certificate, registration, house number. If you don't have these things, they don't take you to the school. So many children do not go to school. So that's the situation. Because there are not enough schools, and even those, and then people have no documentation. About 5 years ago exactly, 2008, I happened to, eventually, or it happened that I came in this area. I was working with the National Catholic Commission on Migration. The National Catholic Commission on Migration helps some schools in the border inside Burma, and most of them small current schools. The teachers earn 1,000 baht a month. So they have no incentive to teach, and the children have no books, have no tables. So the purpose of the National Catholic Commission on Migration was to support some of the schools, either inside Thailand or inside Burma, so that the teachers would have a little more income, and that the students would have exercise books. So they are trying to go to class, no exercise book whatsoever. Or they have one exercise book for all the subjects. So anyhow, I was working with the NCCM, and we had meeting with the teachers and gave them educational materials. And then after lunch, one of the group said, let's go and see this small school which asked for help from the NCCM, but we have not given help. So the 5 of us who went to see the school, and we started speaking with the teachers. At that time, there was a small, 4 small classrooms, 3 by 4 meters. So each classroom 12 square meters. And in each class about nearly 20 students, altogether 60. And there were 5 women. One had to do the kitchen, the cook, and then the other teaching. Anyhow, from January 2008, February, March, up to August, when I came, they had not received any salary. So the husbands were complaining, you go to teach over there, you don't get any salary. So they were about to abandon the project. There are 60 students, not one single toilet. So when I saw the situation, the teacher said that they were looking for help. I went back to Bangkok. I was teaching in LaSalle, Bangkok. I was teaching chemistry. And students of your level, pre-university, advanced level chemistry. I was teaching chemistry, and then we spoke with the brothers, and At that time, LaSalle Brothers, we were also looking for a new project more directed to the poor. So I presented the situation of the schools. The brothers say, okay, looks interesting, probably we can help. So I made a project, 4-stage project, whereby the first 2 stages we help where we can withdraw. But after the second stage, we are responsible for the school. So the first stage was simple, very simple. From September 2008, I asked for 100,000 baht. Can you calculate quickly in Malaysian dollars divided by 25? How many Malaysian dollars? Or Singapore? 100,000 divided by 25. 4,000 Singapore dollars. The first stage, I asked for the LaSalle Foundation $4,000 so that September, October, November, December, we would give something to the teachers, 3,000 baht per month. Then for petrol, then for educational materials. It was a time for the brothers to know the teachers, and the teachers to know the brothers. It was a project. There were 5 ladies. The one who started was Miss Wirawan, the owner of this house. The owner of this house. We rent the top part of the house. So she started the project. It was their project. So we wanted to see whether we could work together. They didn't know the brothers. We didn't know them. But after a while, the teachers got the impression that it was possible to work together. And not only possible, that they welcome the presence of the brothers. So then the second stage, 2009. Actually, in August 2008, there were 60 students. After the brothers started coming once a month to help the teachers, supervise the teaching a little bit, give some direction, the number of students went to 80 and to 120. So in the month of February 2009, there were 120 students. At the end of the school year in Thailand is March. So the school year ended with 120. When we opened the school year at the beginning of May, we had 250, twice the number. So what to do? Send them home or think and so quickly we build temporary classrooms. Some teachers were teaching under the trees, really under the trees, and find money, find equipment, find teachers, find everything. So 2009 was very trying in a way, but then I got more money from the LaSalle Foundation. I got 500,000 baht. 500,000 baht, that's how many?
20,000.
$20,000.
Yes.
It was a period of deciding, 2009. Whether the teachers want us, they must tell us. They don't want us, they must tell us. And also, we must decide to withdraw or we take over. So it was a period of, we had 250 kids there, and at that time, the soldiers used to come practically every week to visit the school. What are you doing here? Do you have a license? I have no license. This land belongs to the military. So we were a bit nervous. The land did not belong to us. We couldn't control. I had great dreams of building, lot of classrooms. We had no electricity. Electricity passes in front like this. The lines in front of the school, but we have no electricity, and we don't have now. So there was a time where the soldiers kept coming, asking questions. We didn't want to clash with the soldiers. So I had to go to see the captain who is in charge military of this area. I went 3 times. When I saw that there was something, they were not happy. I went to see them, explain to them what we were doing. Because the military were not happy that we came. They had their own ideas. Especially the 3 big problems in the area. Wood, illegal wood. So they thought, oh, these foreigners, they come here, they have some hidden ideas. Then is amphetamine, drugs. How come a foreigner? How come they come here just to work for? They must have something hidden. And then the second thing more is selling more drugs. So therefore, either we might be involved in these things, or we might be able to know too many things of what is happening in the area. So anyhow, the soldiers, they were not happy, and we have 250 kids in our hands. So the LaSalle Foundation decided to buy a piece of land 13 kilometers inside the border. And here we have the ownership of the land. And we start to develop it. So now at the present time we have two campuses, 2 sites. The original site, and you're supposed to see that first, which is about 300 meters from the border. And we call that bamboo, because everything is made of bamboo. And the military do not want us to build anything permanent, because anytime they can tell us, away, go away, and we have no say. And what happened to the children? So on the other side is 12 kilometers inside. We call it Balmeni. We don't have time to explain to you. In a few days you will be able to understand all the details. The organization is a bit complicated, but anyhow, in the first side near the border, we have 2 groups of students, 3 groups. There's a kindergarten, children 4 to 7. Then there is a group of children 8, 9, 10, 11 who never went to school. They begin to learn to read. We call that preparatory classes, the 2 preparatory classes. And then we have another 2 classes we call non-formal education. Non-formal education means that they don't follow the regular system of education of 1 year, primary 1, primary 2, primary 3. It's a shortcut to be able, we try to prepare the students to finish primary 6. The education is divided into two main cycles, 1 to 6 is 1 primary, and then another 6 years for secondary. But anyhow, so we have 120 or 150 near the border. On the other side in Palmini, we are becoming more of a regular school. But we have two activities. One is for the children of the area. Last year I made a survey in this area. Within a radius of 5 kilometers not far from the school, we found about 85 children who didn't go to school. So okay, we build quickly, we build a classroom for them. But this year we have about 120. So that's one group of students. And the other group of students, we are the primary 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's information. I don't know how much, too much probably. Anyhow, what I will try to do. First of all, we are trying to give them an opportunity that they don't have. Opportunity to read and write. Opportunity at least to get the basic primary education. We get many of the children come not to study, So because they have a free meal at lunch. You will see in the families, the earning is only up to last year 120 baht a day. Now this year has gone up to 180, 200 baht. If you have 3 children and 2 father and mother, you cannot do much. $7, $7 a day. So the main problem here is that the salaries are not good enough. So therefore, all the things that come with it. So we give them a basic education and follow their health. Also, we train them to in ethics. A little also we try to teach them Christianity. Don't forget, this is a Catholic school, it is owned by the brothers. We don't make difference between worldly education and religious education. The LaSalle said very clearly to the brothers do not make difference between your duties in the school and your duties as a brother. So therefore we consider that the two things have to go together. Not good to be very good in academic, but in the spirit. And it is not good to be very religious, very good in the spirit, and you have no knowledge. We don't say what is more important. That is an irrelevant question. To us, the two things must go together. You have one arm and one arm, 2 arms. There's no point in developing one arm and the other one you don't develop. This arm is worldly education, good academic. But while LaSalle is good all over the place, good academic education. At the same time, this religious education, according to the situation, according to the, in some places it's possible to do direct evangelization. In other places we have to go very slowly. But the aim is there. I would like to finish. Now you come here. You can come here with 3 attitudes. I don't know which one is the main attitude. You come here first as a tourist. I don't think you come as a tourist. You come as a tourist? No. Well, when you have a chance to see a little bit, you will do a little bit tourism. Little bit. Second, you can come here as a social worker. Philanthropic. Okay? The children are poor, we went them. Okay, that's good. And certainly the motivation many people is social work. There's a third attitude. The attitude probably, I don't know how much you have of that. You come here as assistant missionaries. You're not going to preach, but the children will see you. The children and the teachers will play with you. That would be the best way of giving witness. Don't forget that, of course, there is material poverty. Material poverty. I think you know what material poverty is. A lot. There is intellectual poverty. And the third kind of poverty is spiritual poverty. Okay, you might have first one, second, and the third. The 3 have to go together. That's what the LaSalle is all about. We don't say only this. We have to manage the 3. The 3. Material poverty they must get ready to earn a good living. To have the skills to earn. So, material poverty, they must enough to live. Then intellectual. They must know how to read and write, how to think, how to improve. And then third, we try as much as possible Christian values first. And then Christian theology is more difficult. The way we get into Christian Bible. So I hope that in the three these areas, yourself right now, the desire to be good. Don't say you get zero. Get zero, not good. Send it, 10, 100. You have a chance to see different places. The Greek people go to the Greek moment.
No.
Don't see. That's not the Buddhism. That's not the sacred assistant social worker. I think you have some activities. You are going to help whatever Brother Stephen has prepared. And the third is deeper and more important. You take attitude, you come here to help develop the spiritual training of the children. And I hope that someday some of you will become a real missionary. Okay, that's all I don't think I have more things to say. Mosquitoes, I will not speak about it. I have told you about it. Water, you know about it. Ordinary precaution. Ordinary. Don't take too many precautions. Otherwise you go mad.
Yes, correct.
Ordinary precautions. One mosquito bites you, don't get excited. Don't get excited. Ordinary precautions. But don't be too risky. Well, I don't know whether I've spoken too much. Do you have any questions or anything you would like to know more about?
How many kids are there in each section of the kindergarten?
Speak slowly, because I am hard of hearing a little bit.
Okay, how many students are there in each section?
Well, in the project hall, 450. 150 near the border and 300 in Harmony.